Hello, Westford. Welcome to this edition of WestfordCAT News. I'm George Cox, and I want to thank the people down at Olympia Sports on Littleton Road for this great t-shirt. As you can see, the Butler did it. Congratulations to the Pats this year. What a great game. My friends and I were very excited.
The Patriots win the Super Bowl!
And we hope you enjoyed all the snowstorms. We have lots coming up in the show, so stay tuned. Records were set for snow totals here in Westford. We got over 30 inches of snow. And if this keeps up, Westford schools will be in session until June 19th. Speaking of snow, we recently got a chance to go behind the scenes at Nashoba Valley Ski Area to see how they keep their slopes filled with the white stuff. I had a chance to go out on the slopes with Pam Fletcher and her brother Al to see how they make the snow. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Pam Fletcher, and I'm here at Nashoba Valley Ski Area with the president of Nashoba Valley Ski Area, Al Fletcher. Al, you must be loving these cold temperatures.
Yeah, these temperatures are great. We can open all kinds of new terrain on a daily, hourly, even basis, and make some great snow to bring back this nice, fluffy pack powder you see here.
Now, for those, Al, that don't really know what snowmaking is all about, what goes into actually making snow?
A lot. Everything from staffing and making sure that we have the most qualified guys and gals to do the job on premise, to making sure you have the right equipment. Obviously, the nice temperatures that we're seeing today help a lot, and you know, we put all that together with today's latest snow guns and technology, and get out here and operate.
Well, speaking of technology, Al, what has come a long way in terms of the equipment that you use?
Well, I tell you, the everything from the compressors that provide the air. Of course, you know, snowmaking is high pressure air and high pressure water mixed together to expand into crystals through what we call a snow gun. Now, we have all kinds of various types of snow gun out here, but most of what we're using is the very latest technological equipment, and it makes a real difference in the amount of time that we can do things. We can change surfaces literally overnight.
That's crazy. Now, I understand as well that some of the newer guns that you're using actually produce how much more snow than the older guns?
Well, if you were to take a look at Nashoba as an example, 10 years ago, we could probably only accomplish about half of what we can accomplish in the same amount of time now. Now, being in New England, that's important because we don't always have the greatest windows. So, you know, if you were to come out here on, say, Monday of this week, you would have said to yourself, well, you know, it's pretty good. But then you come back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even today, and you're like, wow, this is a different resort. You know, it's fully open just about, and the conditions are absolutely perfect, and that's what we can do in a short period of time.
How important is snowmaking in terms of we have a fairly large terrain park here, and we also have a fairly large tubing park here at Nashoba Valley Ski Area?
Yeah, no, you know, the variety of what Nashoba has done as a ski area, you know, continues to grow. We've added certainly the tubing park, operating one of the largest in the country right here in Westford, Mass, and of course our terrain park got rated #3 on the East Coast just a year ago, and you know, those are pretty impressive things for a place that is just outside of the city of Boston, and maybe not so tall in size, but robust in the different amenities and activities that we offer.
And when it comes to snowmaking, how important is the snowmaking to keep the terrain park and the tubing park operational?
Well, you know, I mean, everything plays into snowmaking. That's what we do here. We are in the snow business. So, you know, obviously all the technological improvements that we continue to make on an annual basis help us get tubing better and quicker, and also the terrain park to allow enough snow for them to build whatever they want in the terrain park. You know, that's all part of the continued investment in snowmaking.
Well, it's exciting stuff. Nashoba Valley Ski Area is almost 100% open right here in Westford, Massachusetts. And just because you don't see snow outside your back door doesn't mean it's not snowing here at Nashoba Valley. For WestfordCAT News, I'm Pam Fletcher. Now back to George in the studio.
In January, area residents on the town common gathered for a Black Lives Matter rally. The event was one of many across the country urging reform on how police departments treat minorities. Here's Andrew Sylvia with more on the story.
What thought process did you have when you thought about this Black Lives Matter event?
Well, since there were so many bad events in the USA concerning racism lately, I decided that I wanted to organize a rally, and I was also inspired by Jamie Levine Davis, who's the organizer of the Lexington rally.
So, what other thoughts went into this rally here? Do you see this as a large problem in Westford and Massachusetts as a whole?
I see it as a Massachusetts problem, yes, and I see it as a problem for everyone, and everyone should be more aware and work towards justice for all.
And what are your expectations for tonight? How do you think will come out? This has just started, in case if you just are joining us.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe hundreds and hundreds, but if we get enough people and a movement going and awareness raised in Westford, then we've reached our goal. And the hope is for ongoing conversation in the town and education so more people can be aware of the problem.
You know, I think it's really important that everybody, whether they're from towns with large African-American populations or not, to really think about the ways in which our communities are shaped by our assumptions and our expectations and things that so often we're not aware of. All lives do matter, but too often we don't realize that our experiences are different and we act as though some lives are more important than others. We're talking about Black Lives now because the events have demonstrated to us that we haven't been paying enough attention in this country, that we haven't been aware quite often of the problems that still exist and that we need to be aware of them everywhere.
My hope is that we can be here together tonight and say freely and from our hearts that Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
So what are your thoughts on the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole, and how does that impact Westford? Obviously, this isn't a focal point in terms of racial issues in the country. What are your thoughts?
I think it's really important for Westford to see itself as connected to wider communities and to the nation, that it's not something other that's somehow immune from problems of racism or larger social problems. Yeah.
And where you, I'm sorry, I haven't met you yet. Where you came from, was it this cold?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. That's why I have this silly hat.
Well, you can't have a rally without a silly hat. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right.
About a week later, a counter-rally declaring all lives matter brought out supporters of police departments such as Doug Burns.
Well, I think tonight is a good night to show our support for our police, fire, EMT, and all the people that keep us safe. There's been a lot of things in the news that people have been, putting a lot of blame on them, when yet they're the people that are our first responders. They see all the troubled sides of our society, and we are blessed to have them.
Westford Police Chief Thomas McEnany was at both events to keep everyone safe. He told WestfordCAT News that both sides have every right to voice their opinions peacefully, and he appreciated the support for his department from the community.
Again, take the opportunity to thank the community for coming out and supporting the police. It's critical to our mission that we do have the support of the community, and it doesn't stop there. Our community continues to grow, and I need the support of the boards, the finance committee, the manager, as well as the people at town meeting when we go to town meeting. I don't ask for anything I don't need, so that's an important point that I really want to stress. If I ask for it, we need it.
Here's Westford Town Manager Jody Ross with an update on things going on from the Town Hall.
Hi, I'm Jody Ross, the Town Manager in Westford, and I'm here to provide you with an update of what's going on. I guess the most exciting thing to talk about is our blizzard, which we just had, and Westford actually was one of the jackpot towns where we received 36 inches of snow, followed by another 6 the following night. I'm pleased to say that our public safety department handled the storm beautifully. Our highway department is unsurpassed, and our roads were free and clear the following day. So we introduced a new radio station, which you may have heard about. It's AM 1630, where we relay emergency information, particularly if your power went out. And we do have some radios that are available through our health department or the senior center if you don't have a crank radio for those emergencies. We're going to try to do some other broadcasting through that station, some interesting town details, history, perhaps some tips on how to cope with storms, things like that. So please tune in when you can. I want to thank our public safety for the tremendous job that they did. Also, another thing that's happening this week, not quite as interesting, but we have some changes in our trash recycling policies. The Recreation Commission did recommend to the selectmen to reduce the amount of trash barrels that you could pick up. Right now it was 5, and as of February 1st that will be reduced to 3. So you may only put out 3 barrels or less, hopefully less, of trash. Good news is the selectmen decided to reduce the sticker price of the large objects that you put out from $10 to $5 effective on February 1st too. So if you have to purchase new trash cans, we're asking you to purchase smaller ones, and hopefully you can comply with that. We have a fire station that we're planning, and there's been many public notices put out for fire station meetings. Right now, the Permanent Town Building Committee is recommending that a new fire station be built down on Boston Road, and what we would plan to do is the existing center fire station would be torn down, that is located next to the police department and town hall, and we would put up a new building that would house our technology department, provide us with a large community room, and hopefully provide some more record storage, which we've already exceeded our capacity, and maybe provide a couple of extra town hall offices. So that's ongoing. They will be reporting to the Board of Selectmen, and there is an article on our town meeting warrant. Speaking of the town meeting warrant, our town meeting is coming up March 28th, 2015. It's held on a Saturday. It begins at 10 a.m. at the Abbott School in the cafeteria. A couple of interesting things that are on that warrant. It is a draft warrant still. The Board of Selectmen have not closed it. They will be doing that next week. But a couple of the articles that you may find interesting is we're probably asking you if you want to sell the Graniteville Fire Station, which we did go out with a request for proposals, and we received 2 proposals to purchase that, one from a resident who abuts it and the other from Habitat for Humanity. This is a fire station located on Broadway. So the selectmen will be discussing that. We'll be asking the town meeting if they would like to sell that. We have the new fire station I already talked about. One of the things that I'm planning to talk to the public about and the selectmen is that we would like to go out with a bid for electricity so that we could offer the residents a lower amount than you are currently being charged by National Grid. The town did go out to bid for a municipal amount, which we came in at about 10 cents per kilowatt, but right now I believe that's up to 16 for the general public. So you might be getting solicitations in the mail from other companies, but we're hoping to provide you with a way that the town can oversee this, go out to bid, and you'd be offered the low rate. You can opt out, and there'll be a lot more information coming on this. 12 North Main, which is the old Westford anodizing building, is still something that we're handling and trying to decide how to move forward. The selectmen are very close to making a decision on that, so that will be on the warrant in March for a decision from the public. A couple of extra things. A resident has asked us to create a disability commission, which we do not have, and that is something that needs to go to town meeting for approval. And also we're talking about maybe having a solar farm on our former landfill site, which would help reduce our energy costs. So those are just a few of the things that are going on in our town, and We're very happy that the governor has now signed a community compact to strengthen the state's relationship with the towns, and he has made a commitment to us to not reduce in local aid for us, which of course helps fund our budget. We did receive an extra $300,000 in our roads account, which is our Chapter 90 road funding, since he's been elected, and so that's going to help us keep our roads in good shape. So those are a few of the things going on in town, and thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks.
Get out and do something. Find out what's going on here in Westford with Ira Keltz.
Hello, I'm Ira Keltz, and here are a few events going on here in Westford over the next few weeks. The Road and Bush Community Center is getting out their putters for a family 9-hole mini golf experience on Saturday, February 7th at 1 p.m. Free munchies will be available for the kids, and there will be adult beverages on hand for the parents. It's $6 for one person and $16 for a family. Sustainable Westford's Winter Series continues with a seminar on desserts, including several that are dairy and gluten-free. It takes place on Friday, February 13th at 6:30 p.m. inside the First Parish Church United, right across from the Town Common. More information is available at sustainablewestford.com. Get ready for laughs as the stand-up comedy showcase returns to the Parish Center for the Arts. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 14th, that's Valentine's Day. This show begins at 8:30 and will hold 90 minutes of Boston's finest comedians. Tickets are $20 for PCA members and $22 for non-members. If your kid loved Disney's Frozen, they should head down to the J.V. Fletcher Library on Tuesday, February 17th. Elsa, Anna, and Olaf will be on hand to sing songs, play games, and pose for photos at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Tickets are just $2 and they'll be going fast. And also on Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th, you can celebrate and help a good cause at Nashoba Valley Ski Area. The 20th annual Jimmy Fun Snow Challenge is coming with registration opening at 9 a.m. For more information on that, head over to skinashoba.com. Do you have an event coming up? Let us know. Email us at news@WestfordCAT. Thanks for watching.
On February 3rd, the Board of Selectmen came to a decision on a proposed new fire station, which now goes before voters in March. The proposed station will cost $13 million for construction and planning, with $12 million coming from a debt-excluded bond. At the recommendation of the Permanent Town Building Committee, the proposed fire station will be located on Boston Road, across from the former Drew Gardens site. Voters were against funding that would help plan a proposed fire station on Boston Road in the fall of 2013, due largely to concerns about traffic. They approved funding in the spring of 2014 for a study on where the proposed new fire station should go. Studies indicated that rebuilding the central fire station at its current site or going to a site other than Boston Road would cost the town more money, greatly change response times, and impact the effectiveness of the police department. Later in the meeting, the selectmen decided it's best to get a new contract with IPR, the town's current recycling provider. The Recycling Commission recommended going with Waste Management instead, as they fear that IPR may go out of business. Going with IPR would save the town money. IPR also lent out hundreds of tote boxes to residents. If the town goes with Waste Management, IPR could take back those totes. Town manager Jody Ross thought the change wasn't worth the effort.
I am very concerned about trying to collect 2,500 toters from people. I bought mine, so I have no interest personally in this. I get to keep mine, but to take 2,500 toters away from people and make them buy a $45 toter, I don't really want to be the one to do that.
The selectmen voted unanimously to stick with IPR and attempt to renegotiate the town's contract. So, what's red grows in the ground. I never ate them as a kid, but they're good and good for you. Find out now with Rekha Sharma with this week's health tip.
Hello everyone, this is Rekha Sharma with a new health tip for WestfordCAT News. Today I'm going to talk about beetroot. Beetroot is rich in iron, vitamin and nitrate. Because of the presence of nitrate, it is highly recommended for people who have got high blood pressure. It also helps to reduce dementia because of its oxygenation and rich blood supply to the brain. It also reduces chronic inflammation because of the presence of choline in it. It is also recommended for people who have got high blood sugar levels because it has got antioxidant in it. So add some beetroot to your juices, to your salad, and get the benefits. Bye for now.
There's plenty of things going on at the Westford Museum right in the middle of town. Here's the museum's Penny LaCroix with more on what's going on.
I'm Penny LaCroix. I'm here at the Westford Museum, and we're going to be getting an update from Dave Brody on the Westford Night.
Hi, I'm here at the Westford Night exhibit at the Westford Museum. The exhibit's been moved downstairs, but we still have an exhibit here for people to come take a look at. There are two sort of exciting new developments in the history of the Westford Night. First of all, a local firefighter by the name of David Christiana has done some amazing work on enhancing and improving the site. There's going to be, the work is ongoing, there's going to be a plexiglass cover over the carving. David has carved a bronze effigy of the night, which will be next to the carving. There will be enhanced signage. And so that, like I said, that's ongoing, and probably by the spring that will be complete. The second thing is David, while working on cleaning up the site, along with a co-worker, Shane Greenslade, they had a sort of surprising and interesting discovery. Right about here, this is a rubbing of the Westford Night, but right along this area, they uncovered a small runic letter called the hooked X. You can't see it here, but it's, again, right down along here, almost like an artist's signature. And the hooked X mark is a very important mark. It ties this carving to some of the other rune stones around New England, the Narragansett rune stone in Rhode Island, the Maine Spirit Pond rune stone, and also the Kensington rune stone out in Minnesota. So that's a very exciting development, and we've had some geological work done on it, and the conclusion that geologist Scott Walter reached was this 90% certainty that this is indeed a man-made carving that was made at the same time as the rest of the Westford Night carving.
We're adding a new segment here in WestfordCAT News. Here's the Superintendent, Bill Olsen, with an update.
Well, as an update to our school system, I'd like parents to know that at the present time, we're about 2/3 of the way through our fiscal 2016 budget process. For next year, we are planning to bring just a very, very limited number of new staff on that are needed for crucial positions. We want to expand the Mandarin program at the high school. We are in need of several additional special education staff as our population continues to grow. Our budget for next year is, for the entire school system, is based on an enrollment of just about 5,200 students, which is where we are at the present time. Coming up on April 9th, I'm going to be meeting with about 20 top business executives in Eastern Massachusetts here at the central office to talk to them with some of our administrators and school committee members about key employment skills that our students are going to need to possess in the next 5 years. 10 years is too far out to look. We know that our students graduating have 4 more years or more of college to go through, but we want to begin working with our students in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship, not only at the high school level, but at the elementary level also. We're partnering at the present time, and we need to have more discussions with Babson College. Coming up in the next year also, we are looking to focus our professional development for our staff more on technology. We are growing in terms of our need, our numbers of systems in the school system, and in terms of our capabilities, our capacity and competency in technology. Within our central office, this year we have a new assistant superintendent, Carrie Cleary. Carrie's done an outstanding job since beginning on July 1st of 2014. She's currently in the process of completing her doctorate in education, and we look forward to that. Carrie has a wealth of experience, having worked as a classroom teacher, an assistant principal, director of curriculum, and an assistant superintendent in another school system, and we were very fortunate to be able to hire her in Westford. At the present time, also, I'm in the process of hiring a new principal for the Robinson Elementary School. Denise Arvidsson, who has worked in Westford and has a very distinguished career in both teaching and administration, not only in Westford but other school systems, will be enjoying a very well-deserved retirement at the end of the 2014-2015 school year. We have advertised for the position. We received 25 applications, and we have done some preliminary screening to reduce that to the 4 best candidates who we feel are very viable applicants for that position. So lots of things going on, and lots of great things going on in the school system. One of the things we're proud of is recently we've had 3 different rankings by consumer rating services of one form or another. NerdWallet.com, a San Francisco-based company, looked at all of the school systems in Massachusetts and determined that Westford provided the best educational bang for the buck of all systems throughout the Commonwealth. So thank you very much for your support again. Let's get through this winter, and I want to remind just our students and our staff and our parents, on the Friday prior to February vacation, we're going to have our 5th annual Sunshine Spirit Day. I'm going to ask our students and our staff, as well as all of us in the central office, to wear something tropical, maybe a Hawaiian shirt, a lei, a tropical hat, something with tropical colors in it. No shorts though, please, because it's still winter time, because we want to break the curse of winter and move into spring. It's a fun event for staff, for our students, and we look forward to that day. I'm Bill Olsen for WestfordCAT News. Thank you for watching.
Well, that's it for our show. We hope you stay warm. If you're interested in video production, you can learn how to do your own show right here at WestfordCAT. For more information, you can visit our website at westfordcat.org. If you have a show idea, maybe you want to be a correspondent of the show or run a camera, drop us a line at news@westfordcat.org. For all of us at the station, we want to thank you for watching. I'm George Cox. We'll see you again next time.